But we shift gears now to focus on the digital segment and what people were talking about on the digital news platforms by looking at the major hashtags that caused a lot of buzz and conversation this week. Buchule, please take us through it.
Good morning, Sakina. Thanks for having me. Well, we started the week with an interesting topic, which is the cabinet reshuffle. It is still trending today, and we all know that President Ramaphosa made this announcement Monday night. It was very interesting to see how he has brought back Minister into the Ministry of Finance, and it was also interesting to see Begicele back into the cabinet. A lot of people had a lot to say. Some were unhappy though about Bathabile Dlamini heading women within the presidency. We'll take a look at some of the tweets from people on social media. Yes.
It's very interesting, and of course later on we'll also with our guests discuss this notion of a new dawn. Yes. And what is so new given the faces that we've seen. These are all faces we've seen before.
Yes, yes.
But let's take a look at some of the actual tweets.
Let's actually take a look at these tweets. Koza says, "Shame, Baba Mbalula, you are still my favorite. Hashtag cabinet reshuffle." And Tandile says, "I hear many people analyzing why the president appointed Bathabile Dlamini into women's ministry. Well, until the president, explains itself, I accept no explanation or analysis." And then Africa says, "After I had that Begicele is back, I had to reconcile with my enemies and hide my weapon."
Well, the return of Begicele there, Aubrey, surprising. What's new in that?
Well, it wasn't. Bearing in mind that in the broader context of the cabinet reshuffle, there was a need to reward those who had been loyal to President Cyril Ramaphosa during his campaign. And he was unavoidably one of the people who was going to be rewarded. And there was an expectation amongst many South Africans that he should be deployed to the crime-fighting portfolio.
Well, they certainly got their wish granted. But of course, that takes care of the cabinet reshuffle. What else was trending this week?
We have next hashtag 7 Angels. Now, this sparked a lot of talk on social media, where the Ngobo police station experienced a tragedy in the past week, and the police actually raided the ministry or the church, and they rescued young children, women, and about 7 people were killed by the police at that church. Investigations are still being done, but people are actually questioning the laws surrounding religion within South Africa.
Well, law surrounding religion, the Constitution guarantees
well, yes.
all South Africans,
Yes.
you know, the right to freedom of religion. And I think this falls in that category. So it's going to be one that's going to be very tricky, Professor Rodney Gumede.
Indeed, and I think that when we talk then about, for example, regulation of faith-based communities and churches, as in this case, we have to be well aware of that we have other Chapter 9 institutions as well that actually guarantees human rights or has the capacity to rule on some of these issues, like the Human Rights Commission, for example, which is also a Chapter 9 institution. But we can come back to that.
Well, these are some of the actual tweets once again.
Wilson says, "On freedom of belief, where does hashtag CRL draw the line between what's right and wrong? Regulating religion is almost impossible. Hashtag 7 Angels and Ngobo." And then Ligaso says, at Newsroom, hashtag 7 Angels branches should be closed countrywide. And lastly, Pastor Sechaba says, he was quoting Banela Mangoba, and he says, "Men, we're not running a cult, but a church." And then he says, "Scripture says Satan is able to transform himself into an angel of light." Hashtag 7 Angels.
Very interesting on this, and an attack on the police, I think we all understand, is a direct attack on the state itself.
Yes,
so it's going to be interesting to hear further discussions and deeper introspection into what actually is going on.
Yeah. Now, the last hashtag, Sekina, it's more like sad news. People reacted to the gruesome killing of a Taxify driver on Thursday night. He was allegedly shoved into his boot, and the car was set alight in Sunnyside in Pretoria. Now, people are saddened by this. Some people fear that their lives as well could be in danger because of the friction within the taxi industry. Now, Baba says, it's in the South African taxi industry where majority do not act like business people. Instead, they feel entitled. If you have competition, change your business model. Don't kill hashtag Taxify. And then Annie says, at Begicele, I see she's trying to charge there and make Bekitele take note of this. Please protect Uber and Taxify from murderous meter taxi thugs. And then lastly, Bongingosi says, meter taxis need to accept that innovation and technology have made people's travel life easier, faster and possibly cheaper too. And killing Uber taxi drivers ain't gonna solve anything.
Yeah, ongoing one, this one, but also very disturbing. But Buchule, thank you so much for that. And after the break, we'll talk about Jacques Pauw's home invasion by the Hawks, which happened earlier this week. So do stay tuned for that.